Most people are usually quiet about their crimes, but Zodiac, as he dubbed himself, was anything but. From 1968 to 1969, he terrorized San Francisco with his murder spree, taunting the police with his coded letters to the local paper. He had at least about 5 killings directly connected to him, although he claims to killed about 37 people. His terror began when Betty Lou Jensen, 16, and David Arthur Faraday, 17, were found lying outside of their bullet-proof car. Jensen was found dead on the scene with 5 gunshot wounds to her back, while Faraday died of a bullet wound to the head en route to the hospital. Half a year later, a couple who parked their car 4 miles away from the crime scene were also gunned down, one injured and one killed. The survivor, Michael Magow, was able to give a description of the killer. He described a heavy-set white man around 5'8". It would be the Zodiac killer himself that would give the police the remaining evidence. At 12:48 a.m. that same night, police received a strange call. Zodiac killer stated, "I wish to report a double murder. If you go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway to a public park, you'll find the kids in a brown car. They have been shot with a 9mm longer. I also killed these kids last year. Goodbye." A month later, newspapers received the first letter from the Zodiac killer. He demanded them publish the letter on the front page or he'd go on a killing rampage. The letter described the murders, all written with mysterious ciphers that seemed to perform a code. This was a common theme with the other letters he would send, all signed with the cross-circle symbol. One such letter was decoded by a high school teacher and his wife. It read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of them all. To kill something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting a rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all that I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow me down or stop my collecting of slaves for my afterlife." The Zodiac killer would go on killing and leaving frustrating evidence for the police. Coded letters, anonymous phone calls, the cross circles written on the victims' cars, sending over blood-stained shirts, accounts from survivors. To this day, the police has never found him. On the morning of September 20th, 1988, in Belen, New Mexico, it seemed like a perfect day to ride a bike. Tara Calico borrowed her mother's pink bike to go out for a spin. Extroverted and active, she worked as a bank teller and was studying to become either a psychologist or a psychiatrist. She planned to play tennis that afternoon and asked her mom to drive out after her in case she got a flat tire and then return home by noon. She never did return. Every lead went to a dead end until a year later, when a photo was found depicting a young woman her age and a missing boy, both gagged. The Polaroid photograph was found in the parking lot outside of a junior fruit store in Florida. The 9-year-old Michael Henley went missing in the same area as Calico in April of 1988 when he was hunting turkeys with his father. They appeared to be in the back of a van with a copy of a book written by V.C. Andrews, Calico's favorite author, lying right beside the girl. Initially, Tara's mother didn't think the girl was her, but the girl in the photograph had a scar identical to Calico. But still, due to the lack of evidence, many experts dismissed the photograph. In 1990, Michael Henley's body was found in Zuni Mountains where he was hunting, which strongly disconnects the theory that the two were abducted and taken to Florida. Calico's parents would eventually die, never finding out who took their daughter. The dead woman who named her killer. Although the case has been solved, how it was solved still remains a mystery. In 1977, a respiratory therapist in Chicago was murdered in her apartment. Teresita Baza was found under her flaming mattress with a butcher knife buried in her chest. Police attempted to track her stolen jewelry with no luck. They also failed in trying to link any kind of suspects to the crime. it seemed impossible to find a perpetrator. That is, until Remy Chua, a co-worker who barely knew the victim individually, became a leading source of information. Chua began having frequent visions and nightmares about Baza. It started in the locker room of her work, where she experienced seeing a man's face behind Baza. This would repeat in her dreams. Chua then began channeling Baza's spirit when conversing with her husband. While channeling Baza's spirit, Chua told her husband the entire story of Baza's murder. She claimed the orderly at the hospital named Alan Showery was helping Baza with her television when he assaulted her. He then killed her and set her mattress on fire. The spirit was even able to give details of what happened to her jewelry, which was given to Showery's common law wife. Mr. Chua convinced his wife to give these details to the police. The police were skeptical at first, but after seeing Baza's jewelry on Showery's wife, the police were able to convict the man for 14 years in jail. Unfortunately, that was not enough evidence to convict him longer. But was it really Baza's ghost who named her killer? Perhaps Chua has knew some facts in the case and disguised it as a spirit possessing her. Whatever led police to the killer remains to be a mystery. In 2007, a girl was roaming a beach in British Columbia when she found a sneaker. To her horror, as she opened up the sock, she found that a human foot was inside. Since then, a number of severed feet have washed ashore. The feet have been connected to 5 men, 1 woman, and 3 of unknown sex. Throughout the years, with a hoax foot thrown here and there, the case has never been completely closed. With many theories floating around as to who the feet belong to, the Vancouver police managed to identify one foot in 2008, matching the DNA to a man who was described as suicidal. They later were able to match 2 other feet to a woman who was also believed to have committed suicide. Because of these findings, many speculate that the feet belong to those who have jumped off a bridge to their deaths. However, because of the rarity of only feet and no other body parts showing up, some believe that the feet were connected to a plane crash by a nearby island. Others suggest that they were those of the victims of the Asian tsunami in 2004. Since the make of the shoes were all manufactured before 2004, whatever sources these feet are coming from, they have left the world baffled for years. This final unsolved case is not a famous case, but a local one I remember from years ago, occurring in a neighboring town. If not for a brief mention in an old clip archive regarding a neighborhood watch, I might have thought it was just my imagination. Back in 2005, in the affluent town of Cape Elizabeth, Maine, the community experienced something unnerving. During the night, victims who kept their doors unlocked would wake up in the morning to catch a brief glimpse of a man staring at them. Before they could react, the man would flee the scene, leaving the house just as it is before he entered it. Nothing was stolen, nobody was injured or killed. All that he took was their privacy when he snuck into their bedrooms to watch them sleep. A rough sketch depicting a man in his early 20s played on the local news. Everybody seemed to think they knew who it was, and the police received a number of calls from concerned citizens, naming possible suspects. Although 2 people named the same person, the police never did catch the Cape intruder. After some intrusions in August, December, and February, he never did break in again. Perhaps he had his fill of staring at sleeping bodies during that time period, but the thought that such a person existed and still walks among us is enough to give anyone the chills, and of course, serves as a grim reminder to lock our doors.